Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. We watched the Diriyah E-Prix this weekend, so now let's go back to 2015 and check out the race from Punta del Este in Uruguay, the third round of the second season of Formula E. The first two races of the year were absolutely incredible. Just crazy, exciting, strange, lots happened, and clearly, we have two runaway leaders in Sebastian Buemi and Lucas Di Grassi. Now we go to Uruguay. Again, there aren't really many changes to the grid, although Nick Heidfeld is not present, and so we have the debut of Oliver Rowland for the Mahindra team. This is also the final Formula E races for Jacques Villeneuve and Nathaniel Baton, and I do believe we won't actually get to see Jacques Villeneuve. I don't think he starts the race. So his disastrous time in Formula E has already come to an end 3 races into the season. So with that, let's just get this race started and let's see if this race can match the first two for excitement levels and crazy action. So with that, let's begin.
And it's a slow start from Duval, and what a good start that is from Sam Bird. Is he up into second place on the run down to turn 1? Yes, he is. The Virgin driver up into second. Lockups further back. Great start from Daniel Abt, and the two Abt cars go third and fourth as everyone tries to squeeze in through for the first time. So it's a slow start from Nico Prost. Almost contact there as they come through the left-hander. That was Bruno Senna and Antonio Felix da Costa. Robin Frains is up there too, but a great start from Jerome D'Ambrosio as he manages to hold the lead of the race then. But it's Sam Bird with a rocket start, Dario Franchitti, up into second place.
Yeah, and I'd say Jean-Eric Verne at the other end of the grid shortcutted the chicane there. It didn't look like he got any advantage though, but yeah, great start there from Sam Bird into P2. And now it's going to settle down for a couple of laps before I'm sure we'll see the action picking up. The guys have got to get themselves into a rhythm here. That first lap, just start letting everything flow and then get on with the race.
Big cloud of the curbs there, taken by... it was Nelson Piquet Jr. as they came through that chicane, but the bad news for Sebastian Buemi in fourth place is he didn't manage to make any places up. And he, in theory, has the quickest car out there. Antonio Felix da Costa's looking very close to Bruno Senna as they come down towards the right-hander. Senna knows it, has to slightly cover the inside line, but this is a race that is going to be reasonably tough on your energy consumption, so you don't want to go lunging around in the first few laps. You need to be sensible about this.
We've seen this before, haven't we? The race, the first couple of laps, people get themselves settled in, and then they'll be a little conservative with their energy consumption, and then when they've got more of an idea what's going on, and particularly when they get into their second car, then the madness starts, really.
Okay, so no incidents at the start of the race, which is always very nice to see. We have the Dragon cars, who have been performing very well at the start of the year. Both of them are right at the front of the field with Sam Bird, but Buemi and Di Grassi are both up there as well. I think all eyes will be on them. They have been the choice cars for Formula E in 2015 so far. Let's see if this race kicks it up a bit in the coming laps.
Da Costa goes through, gains the place, and that is now 8th place for Antonio Felix da Costa. And now Robin Frains is attacking Senna too. Yes, rear right problem for Bruno Senna. Rear right problem for Bruno Senna. Is it a puncture or suspension?
No, it looks like a flat.
We'll keep an eye out for it.
I wonder if he's hit the wall at some point, or is it debris?
We haven't seen punctures very often.
Yeah, unless they're something that the guys have done. This is where it becomes an issue because single file through this here, the chicane here.
Yep, Senna gets out of the way nicely. It is a puncture, yeah. It's down a bit on the right rear. So Bruno Senna, after running up in 8th place, is having to come into the pits, and a miserable time for Senna, the Brazilian.
God, I feel like Bruno Senna is having the worst luck this year. It's lap 3 and he's already in trouble. He's got a puncture, he's dropping down the field. That's pretty much race over for him. And Nelson Piquet Jr., last year's champion, is once again running down the back of the field. I think he's in 13th. Some of these drivers, especially the Brazilians, outside of Lucas Di Grassi that is, really struggling to get to grips with Formula E in Season 2.
Across the line comes the race leader, Jerome D'Ambrosio, though. 0.8 of a second clear of Sam Bird, who in turn is 0.6 clear of Loic Duval, but he's got Sebastian Buemi right up behind him. And Duval's got to do the team job now and do everything he can to keep Buemi behind him, surely.
Yeah, that'd be one of the byproducts of what he's trying to do, but D'Ambrosio's got a clear track. He can dictate where he carries speed, and really get into his own rhythm, because part of the energy saving thing is, oh, here's a move from Buemi down the inside.
Up the inside, and can he get through into the hairpin? Yes, he can.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Fabulous move there, yeah, nice and easily done. But yeah, so D'Ambrosio can get into his own rhythm and that way save energy. It's easier to save when you're controlling your own pace. These guys are close behind other people. The pace is being dictated throughout the lap by the guy in front.
Here is Senna then, and of course they're going to change the tyre, then wheel him back out. I think this is the first tyre change we've ever had in Formula E.
I think it is. I'd love.
So Senna is in to get his tyre changed. As I said, his race pretty much over. And Sebastian Buemi is now on the move. He has got past Loic Duval. Honestly, in 2015, he looked unstoppable. And I'm intrigued to see if he can keep climbing up the field. It was a fantastic move, and I'm sure there are more to come from Buemi.
The way he's driving it.
Nico Prost is actually being held up behind Daniel Abt at the moment, and as a result, that's managing to gap them back to Lucas Di Grassi.
Jerome, you're approaching slower traffic. You've got 1 degree in hand. You can use a little bit more. You got 1 degree in hand.
So that's
slow traffic. Car a lap down.
So that's Bruno Senna, I imagine, that they are approaching out there, because he is running at the back of the field at the moment.
He's hoping for a safety car right now. He
Yeah.
needs that to get back in contention here. There he goes through the shot.
As soon as Senna goes a lap down to these two, then it's pretty much all over for him. So, as you say, he'll be hoping to get through. Prost has got past Daniel Abt. Here comes Sebastian Buemi through on Jerome D'Ambrosio. Buemi leads into turn 17, and the Renault car is now into the lead of round 3 of the Formula E Championship.
And you would say, oh, he caught him napping, but he didn't. It's just that Jerome he's on that tightrope of how much energy does he save, how early does he lift and coast.
And there he is coming over the radio to give some feedback to the team.
C'est vraiment très important de donner chaque tour la conso par tour.
So,
on va essayer de faire 17 tours avec un peu de marge. Target conso, 1 sur 1,60.
they bounce over the curbs. Here's then the reshuffle we've seen back here. Duval is now in 3rd, with Sam Bird right up behind him and Lucas Di Grassi behind him. Nico Prost, you're just about to see to come through that chicane. He's past Daniel Abt and up into 7th position.
But he's
Well, it didn't take very long. Sebastian Buemi is now in the lead of the race. He's past D'Ambrosio. Behind them, it looks very, very tight between Duval, Bird and Di Grassi. I'm expecting Di Grassi to move forward as well, but I think now you can just call the race. Buemi's going to win. He's uncatchable. He looks super fast. And it's honestly only taken him 8 laps to go from 4th to 1st. You can't stop him. He's just been incredible so far this season, and especially in this race.
Sam Bird, and that'll be a welcome relief to Bird, but he can't use it in this first run.
a yellow at turn 19 here.
So through the hairpin they come. Duval in 3rd, then Bird, then Di Grassi. As you say, a yellow at turn 19, double yellow at turn 19. So what has happened at 19? Oh, and a spin, and that is Nathaniel Berton and Berton. They came together. Well, didn't come together, but Berton held up Verne in free practice. Sorry, in qualifying, and I wonder if that was a bit of a payback.
Jean-Eric Verne has had the most bizarre day. At one point, he was walking down the track. Oh, there we go. Di
Oh,
Grassi.
the inside goes Di Grassi. Past Sam Bird.
Yeah. He caught him there. Just coming into the last corner there. He's got past him in turn 16, 17, 18 there.
On board we go with Bird. Can he try and fight back? Across the line they come. Buemi's not pulled rapidly away from Jerome D'Ambrosio, just keeping the gap at 1.1 seconds, but why would you, I guess?
Again, it doesn't make sense to put too far away there.
Well, Nathaniel Berton in his final Formula E race is not having a great time. He's been spun round by Verne. That's him down the back of the field. I wasn't expecting much from him anyway. And we have seen Di Grassi pass Bird. Again, not entirely surprised. I think Di Grassi's going to be moving forward now. It's starting to warm up this race, and it's gone quick. We're almost at the halfway distance. We're going to start seeing pit stops very, very soon. So we'll see if anything changes.
It's Senna, Bruno Senna. Bruno Senna off at turn 17. And he was a lap down anyway.
Mahindra Day goes from bad to worse. These poor guys are not getting a break just now. Oh, pulled in front of PK.
Yeah.
That will not endear him to Nelson now.
That's because it's my front is we're losing, getting massive toe changes.
These massive toe
Sounds like he has brushed the wall somewhere.
and that led to the puncture and has led to also suspension damage. Here comes Bruno Senna in the red and white Mahindra car, right in front of the race leaders. So that could have been very interesting.
I can continue with this car, guys, because the right front is fighting with the left front at the moment. I cannot take any right-handers properly.
Okay, so we're gonna see Senna in then at the end of this lap. He'll swap over to his other car and.
So things go from bad to worse for Senna. Not only was his race already over, but he's now stuffed it in the barrier, and it sounds like he's having problems with the steering from the earlier incident, or maybe something that caused the earlier incident as well. He's going to have to switch to his second car early. If his race was completely done before, it's now well and truly dead.
I think. We'll wait and see. Out goes Sebastian Buemi.
I'd love to see that release.
It's De Grassi. De Grassi's in second place, in front of the two Dragon cars. And getting involved in there is Sam Bird, so Bird has made up a position as well.
So the Dragon boys lost places again on the pit stop.
Yeah. So D'Ambrosio it is, who's still in third position in front of Bird, who's up to fourth, and Duval drops down to fifth. So Buemi now leads effectively. Roland is still out there. De Grassi in second, D'Ambrosio in third. So now we'll see what energy management we can have until the end of the race.
You want to attack, don't you?
Yeah.
At this point you're thinking, all right, I've saved enough, let's get after it. But that's the thing though, even when they're saving energy at the beginning of the race, they're still going as quickly as they can. They've got an issue here.
Oh, and there's that slowing Sam Bird up the inside, goes into turn 13. Has Sam Bird got a problem, or was he just lifting coasting? But the Dragon is through.
He's got to have a problem with that.
Do a reset and I'll give you instructions.
Yes, try and do a reset, I'll give you instructions. So Sam Bird in trouble, the car is coasting around. The DS Virgin driver is having to grind to a halt.
P0.
Oh, right in the middle of the track too. They've got to throw a safety car here.
So we are over halfway. We've had the pit stops, and now the trouble starts. Dragon, once again, they had a bad pit stop. I don't know who's on their stopwatch, but they need someone who can actually tell the time. Or maybe the person on the stopwatch needs some new glasses. Whatever it is, their pit stops have been dire. They both lost out to Lucas de Grassi, so he's jumped up to second behind Buemi. And Sam Bird had jumped between the Dragon cars, but he's instantly run into trouble. He's stopped in the middle of the track, which is very inconvenient. We're probably going to get a safety car, so that kind of saves Dragon's blushes a little bit, but they still need to work on their pit stops. Buemi is so far out in front, we've barely seen him, and now he has Lucas de Grassi behind him. This race is sort of starting to feel a little bit familiar. I don't think there's really that many cars going round, because Villeneuve didn't start, so that was already down to 17. Berton and Senna have had issues, and now Sam Bird's retired. So there's only like 14 cars going around on the main pace. I think Oliver Rowland was the only car to go longer than everyone else. So everyone's done their pit stops. It's starting to work itself out now. It's going to be interesting to see the end of this race and if Buemi can maintain his domination going forward.
I don't know why. I'm going to have to go and have a little chat with him and sort of politely ask that question, because as a driver it's not a question you want to get asked. I have been asked it many times before. Why are you so much slower than your teammate?
Yeah,
but it's that one hurts.
Bouncing over the chicanes. This is our race leader, Sebastian Buemi. 2.2 seconds his advantage now over Lucas de Grassi as he comes down into the second of the chicanes.
5 laps to go here.
Yep, 5 laps to go. It's still that D'Ambrosio-Duval battle that's closest on track for third place. And Turvey has now served his drive-through penalty and is down into 12th position. So Piquet is up into 8th place, but Jean-Eric Verne is now right up behind Nelson Piquet. Just 0.8 of a second between them. So that could be a battle that will ensue over that 8th place spot as Buemi comes through turn 13. 14, 15.
Classic there of lifting early, a little bit of coast, but then not braking and keeping that minimum speed up through that chicane. That's how you save energy, while still doing a quick lap time, which is clearly the object of the whole exercise. He comes through this last corner here, trying to put the power down. We've seen a lot less oversteer there. It's like they've really got the setups a lot nicer than the cars were last year to drive. You could see them snapping sideways a lot there last year. They're more gradual in the power delivery this year, and especially the 2-motor cars earlier on this season looked pretty snappy on the power.
Yeah,
they looked a lot better today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've jumped ahead quite a lot because honestly, not a lot has been happening. There was a little confusion with the yellow flags from Sam Bird parking at the side of the track. Buemi slowed down early. I don't know what he saw that made him slow down, but it meant Degrassi was on him for a little while. But as soon as the race got going again, Buemi pulled away. So there hasn't been a lot of change at the front. In fact, through this whole race, the guys who started near the front are still there, minus Sam Bird. Oliver Turvey got a drive-through, so he's dropped out of the points, which was a shame because both Neos were in the points. Nelson Piquet is still there in 8th, and Jean-Eric Vergne and Stefan Zarazan, they're managing to cling on to the smaller point positions. Honestly, 5 laps left. I'm not expecting any huge changes. I don't even think there's many battles on track. The Dragon cars are close together. But this race has definitely been a big step down from the first two.
On the way in there, Verne, fantastic. And this is a great wheel-to-wheel battle that we're going to see for 8th position.
I'm going to be disappointed if I don't see a big move here from Jean-Eric Vergne. It is a hard pass, track to pass on, I'm sorry. But I'm expecting it. And here's Sebastian Buemi going about his merry way, just the dominant performance.
Penultimate lap of the race for the Swiss racer. After leading the way in Putrajaya, he then ran into a software problem with the Renault car, and that knocked him well out of contention for the win. And we still haven't had back-to-back race winners, but this is where he won for the first time last year, and he went on to finish 2nd in the championship. He's got Oliver Turvey and Simone de Silvestro, Oliver Turvey and oh, and here's a look up the inside from Vergne. He's done it, but he's gone in way too deep. Piquet gets the cutback, side by side, contact. Piquet holds the position. Jean-Eric Vergne is waving his fist like a furious Frenchman and may have had damage to the car there, but he's going to try again.
Keep his hands on the wheel and try and get back past him. You know, he misjudged it a little bit, but it's not Piquet's fault.
No, Piquet was totally legitimate to go back underneath him there as they get on the brakes now. Oh, now he's not legitimate, he's in the wall. Piquet off.
Oh, that's a big old hit.
And that, I think, will effectively finish the race here. We're on the last lap. There's going to be yellow flags aplenty, maybe even a safety car. Nelson Piquet, well, he promised us the champagne if we had 2 point scoring finishes. We're not going to now, we're going to have a retirement. Very odd crash. Yeah, unless he got damage from that and it let go on the way into the chicane. That would be my prediction.
Slow down. These guys really need to slow down here with this wave jello. Here's our race leader here.
Here comes Sebastian Buemi. He manages to get past Nelson Piquet. Piquet's out of the race. Buemi made a mistake in the qualifying session. Only started in 5th place on the grid, but such is the pace and the performance of Sebastian Buemi this year. He managed to get through and take the lead of the race. He won here for the first time in Formula E last year. Now he's going to take the checker flag and take victory in Punta del Este. That was a tough one.
2% left.
Go slow in turn 14, slow in
A
turn
second
14,
place for Lucas de Grassi.
That's domination right there from Sebastian Buemi. Nice team result for the Dragon boys there, 3rd and 4th.
So trust Formula E to save the best for last. Jean-Eric Vergne dive-bombed Piquet, couldn't quite get the move done. They made contact as they came out of the corner, and then it seemed like Piquet had some kind of damage to his car. That was a massive hit, and happily it looked like he was okay. Ruined his race. Neo scored no points. Big crash. Front of the field, Sebastian Buemi took this race win fairly easily. De Grassi behind him and the Dragons, great result for them. We had points for Frines and Sarazan as well because of Piquet and Turvey losing out towards the end of the race. This was, well, it was a step down from the other 2 races, but it wasn't awful. I had a lot less to say about this one though. There was a lot less going on track. Barely any overtaking, apart from Buemi climbing through the field. Even De Grassi got his places during the pit stops. But with that, let's look at the teams and driver standings after the Punta del Este E-Prix. So it's Edams on top with 73, but it's close with Audi, who have 71. Dragon keep up their good form. They're in 3rd with 52. Virgin and Mahindra finish out the top 5. Sebastian Buemi, after that win, takes back the lead of the championship, but he's only 1 point ahead of Lucas de Grassi. They have a massive gap over Jerome D'Ambrosio, Sam Bird and Loic Duval, who finish out the top 5. So that is all from this episode of Let's Watch Formula E Season 2, Race 3 from Punta del Este in Uruguay. I'll be doing more of these as the season progresses, and I'll be going through every season of Formula E eventually. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see if Sebastian Buemi can keep up this amazing form going forward. Cheers, and have a good one.